So now we are going to work through some applications and word problems of our proportions here. So this first problem that we are told the distance between city A and city B is 270 miles. But on a certain map, the same distance, that's 270 miles, is being scaled down to 4.5 inches. This is essentially telling us that we have a rate here. We have been told that 270 miles is the real life distance, but the map distance that we can divide this by is 4.5 inches. And now if we continue reading on, we are told that if the distance between city B and city C on the same map is 12 inches, what is the actual distance between city B and city C? That means we want to set our rate that we have been given equal to another rate, where now we don't know the actual distance, so I am going to give that the letter x on top for our x number of miles, and then I want to divide this by the map distance for between city B and city C, which we are told is 12 inches. So now I want to solve this proportion here for my variable x. I notice that x is being divided by 12 inches. So in order to undo that, I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by 12 inches. This then cancels out the 12 inches on the right side, and on the left side of the equation, I actually have inches canceling out. So now this is going to leave us with that 12 times 270 for our miles divided by 4.5. And that is equal to our x number of miles. So now we can evaluate this. 12 times 270, divide that by 4.5, and you should get that our x is going to be equal to 720 miles. So now that should be the actual distance between city B and city C on this map. The next problem, we have that a worker can complete the assembly of 15 cell phones in 6 hours. And at this rate, we want to know how many can the worker complete in a 40-hour work week. So to start it, we've been given a rate here. We know that they can finish or complete 15 cell phones in a 6-hour time period. So we can write that as 15 cell phones over 6 hours. And now I want to set up a proportion, so I'm going to say this is equal to another rate where I want to know I'm looking for the amount of cell phones. So I'm going to put x on top, and we're going to divide that by the 40 hours for the 40-hour work week. And now, once again, I want to solve for x. I look at this right side of this equation, and I see that x is being divided by 40 hours. So to cancel out the division, I need to multiply by 40 hours. And since I did that to one side, I have to also do that to the other side of the equation. So now my 40 hours cancel on the right side. And on the left side, my unit of hours cancel. So now this is going to leave us with 40 times 15 divided by 6, and that is equal to x, And we don't want to forget that's our unit of cell phones. So now X is equal to 100 and cell phones. Okay, so this last problem here is a little bit more difficult because it's dealing with sort of a ratio idea. So here we have been told that the number of deer in a forest, or to determine the number of deer in a forest ranger tags 280 deer and releases them back into the forest. Later, they catch 405 deer, and of those 405, 45 of them are tagged. And we want to know how many deer there are in the forest. So let's start with, we know that they tagged 280 deer. 280 deer, and I'm just going to mark a little bit note here that this 280 is representing the tagged deer. But that 280 is out of the entire population of the forest, which we don't know yet. So I'm going to call it X, and I'm going to mark that this X is representing total amount of deer. But we've been given more information. We know that 45 deer were caught, of which those 405, 45 of them are tagged. So 45 of them are tagged. So I'm going to put the 45 on top because that's matching my tagged that I did on the left side. And then I need to divide that by the 405 that was out of, which that is our total for that portion that they had caught. So now we have a proportion here that we can solve for our variable X. X is in the denominator for this one, which means I usually go to the method of the cross multiply that we went through on the last video, which means when I cross multiply, we are going to get 45 times X is equal to 280 times 405. And now we want to solve this for X, and I notice that X is being multiplied by 45. So to undo that, we need to divide both sides by 45. So now X is equal to 280 times 405 and then divided by 45, and you should then get 2,520. And this number is now representing the total number of deer in the forest.